Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. Courtesy of our friends across the pond at boxing247.com. This, to me, sounds like a U.S. versus U.K. card episode. So let's start off with Daniel Dubois, who's arrived in Miami to take on Trevor Bryan, the WBA champ. An event put together by Don King. It's taking place in Miami. I'm going to drop down the story a little bit here to get to the part where Dubois says, "I am ready to rumble. I'm out here to make myself, my family, and my country proud. This is what I've been waiting for, and I can't wait. I'm going to go through Trevor and take that belt back with me on the plane." To which Trevor Bryan said, "Listen, this is who I am. I'm Trevor Bryan. See this face right here? I've been here for a long time, and I'm going to be here for a long time. I want to thank you guys for coming over to the pond to get this ass whipping. Let me just say again, you know who Trevor Bryan is. I'm the WBA heavyweight champ, and I'm here to stay. This fight is called Freedom and Peace, but before you have freedom and peace, you got to have war." So, like I said, that's going on this weekend, June 11th, down in Miami. I'm looking forward to that result. Elsewhere, across the pond, in UK this time, in Birmingham, a fight that features Rob Fletcher. And the reason I bring this up is because he's fighting back from a serious ankle injury, and he's a former paratrooper, and I want to just point out what he's been going through. He said, "I dislocated my ankle at work, and it was really bad. Around that time, I tried to stand up, which only made it 10 times worse. My foot was literally pointing out to one side. I was completely off my feet for a good 3 months, and in full cast for quite some time from there. I didn't know if I'd ever make it back. It was a tough time for me, which made me lose some of my love for boxing, but the hunger came back as I recovered, although I only let my body completely heal. It wasn't just my ankle. I had a few other problems, both from boxing and my time in the forces. I listened to my body, which I'd really never done before. I used to overtrain even when I was hurt, and I never felt like I'd done enough. That might be down up to my military background," he said. "When I was ready, I went back to the gym instead of having a lot of physio rehabilitation. I just kept myself ticking over. I changed coaches as well. I really bonded with Steve Woodbine. I feel sharper, stronger, and far more athletic than I've ever been. I used to rely on power, but now I'm a lot more confident in my technical ability. I've come on leaps and bounds. It's like I've never been away, and I can't wait to get back in there." So good for him. Young fellow by the name of Rob Fletcher is going to be fighting on June 10th in Birmingham, England, with an opponent to be announced, by the way. Someone who we featured on Talk and Fight on Knuckle Up, Matty Harris. He'll be fighting across the pond at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, June 17th. Wasserman would like us to advise you, if you're in England or Ireland, that you'll be able to see the undercard free online, and they're pretty happy with the fact that over 1 million viewers were online to see their last event, and they think they can improve upon that number. This is a card, by the way, that is headlined by Nathan Gorman taking on Thomas Salek in a heavyweight bout that will be shown on Channel 5 over there. I don't see anywhere where the main event will be taking place online either, but the undercard will be online. Also co-featuring on that main event, you've got Josh Kelly taking on Aaron Chalmers, Marcel Braithwaite and Thomas Asamba, and Chloe Watson and Farah Albasuri. And as I said before, we'll also see heavyweight giant Magic Matty Harris, 2-0 with 1 knockout, and he's promising to provide an unforgettable moment in the fighting city. As I said, that's being promoted by Wasserman and Kelly Sutherland, head of Global Boxing. Wasserman said, "We're very passionate about making boxing accessible to a nation that loves the sport so much. Getting as many eyes as possible on these events helps birth new stars, and British boxing is rife with it." So I'd like to give Kelly a heads up that Talk and Fight promoted one of their young boxers, young Matty Harris. All right, speaking of young boxers, Joe McGrail has warned his appearance as a skinny teenager disguised the fact that he carries a knockout punch. He'll be fighting in Bolton, England on July 1st. The Liverpool puncher returns to action in Bolton, looking to build on the momentum and the eye-catching first-round blitz of his opponent at the Pro Bellum event held in Liverpool in April. McGrail, by the way, has won 2 of his 3 pro fights by stoppage and is part of a talent-packed Everton Red Triangle gym in his home city, where he shares next-level sparring with brother Peter, Andrew Kane, and some others. And now the 19-year-old is ready to deliver another statement victory next month as his exciting pro journey moves to the Bolton Whites Hotel. He said, "I've watched my stoppage win from my last fight a few times. I was happy with my performance. I feel like I hit hard for my weight and age, and it's only going to increase as well." But the Everton Football Club fan, who's enjoyed recent sparring, as I said, with the 3 F5 brothers, is toying with the idea of challenging for his first career title at bantamweight. So we'll have to see how his career progresses. That's Joe McGrail, as I said, and he's fighting in Bolton, England, July 1st. Speaking of heavyweights, we've got the big Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter bout coming up. Again, an Englishman versus an American, being held at the A&O Arena, Manchester. And I think those guys, the winner of that fight, is going to look to have a scrap with the Daniel Dubois and Trevor Bryan fight. So anyway, fast emerging boxer talents. That's boxer, B-O-X-X-E-R. Caroline Dubois, Hassan Nassim, Brad Ray will showcase their talents on the undercard of the Crunch heavyweight showdown between Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter. That's on July 2nd, by the way, and it's on Sky Sports over there in the UK. This trio of prospects will join another red-hot talent who makes his highly anticipated entry into the professional ranks. And we're talking about 2020 Olympic silver medalist Ben Benzo Whitaker, now trained by Sugar Hill Stewart. So confirmed for the card, heavyweight Steve Robinson, 4-1 with 3 knockouts, and super welterweight April Hunter, training partner middleweight champ Savannah Marshall. We have a little quote here from Ben Shalom. Caroline Dubois, Hassan Azim, and Brad Ray are 3 of the best young talents in British boxing today, and each one of them has the potential to go all the way and become a global superstar in this sport. With an undercard showcasing the future of British boxing and the main event, which will make waves in the heavyweight division, Manchester on July 2nd is shaping up to be one of the best cards of 2022. As I said, that's a quote from Ben Shalom, the boxer founder and CEO. Right on. Let's move across the pond now to San Antonio, Texas, where Richard Medina is going to tackle Raymond Ford. They're going toe-to-toe at the Techport Arena, as I said, in San Antonio, June 25th. Prince Ranch Boxing's undefeated super featherweight prospect Richard Medina, 13-0 with 7 knockouts, who is promoted by TMB Entertainment, faces his toughest opponent to date when he squares off against fellow unbeaten foe Raymond Ford, who's 11-0-1 with 6 knockouts. This Ford versus Medina bout, scheduled 10-rounder, will take place at the Techport Arena in San Antonio on June 25th, and that'll be shown live on DAZN, by the way. And online will be Ford's WBA Continental America's featherweight title, as well as the IBF North American belt. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing is the promoter of the event, with Nurjan Akhmadiliev and Ronnie Rios headlining. So that's going to be a good scrap down in San Antonio, and good for the boys in Texas for putting this on and for Eddie Hearn supporting their efforts. Said the president of Prince Ranch Boxing, who manages Medina, "This is a moment in which all of Rick Medina's hard work pays off. My partner, Rick Moranis, has built Medina for this stage. We're going to show how the development of Medina has prepared him to fight the best fighters in the world. Medina will be in the best shape of his life come fight night, and the fans will see him at his best." As said his partner, Rick Moranis, Medina is going to have a lot of local fans here to support him. This journey has led us to this moment. We've been asking for big fights leading into each and every bout. We're grateful for the opportunity, and Medina is ready to put on a performance that steals the show. Fair enough. Right. Donnie Palmer is going to be fighting Braintree, Massachusetts on 16th of July. Ray's Boxing Promotions will promote 2 events under one roof, Saturday, July 16th, at Dorati Gym in Braintree, Massachusetts. So first off is going to be a professional boxing card headlined by popular heavyweight Donnie Palmer out of Dorchester, Massachusetts. The 6'10", 280-pounder has an excellent record of 11-2-1, 9 knockouts. And the Army vet and congressional candidate won 5 of his last 6 bouts, with his only setback in that period coming as undefeated top 10 heavyweight prospect Joe Joyce. So they're going to announce Palmer's opponent later, but let's move on to see who else is fighting here. Junior welterweight Marcus Bates is slated to appear in an 8-round contest. He's from Taunton, Massachusetts. He's got a 10-4 record, 7 knockouts. He's in his most recent bout, he stopped Augustine Maras in 4 rounds, and Bates's opponent will be announced shortly as well. 4-time New England Golden Gloves champion Casey Streeter. Now here's a good story. Out of Portland, Maine, is facing an opponent to be named in a 6-round junior middleweight tilt. Streeter is 10-2-1 with 4 knockouts. Looks to rebound from a defeat in his last fight, but is known for his resiliency. Now check this out. In 2018, Streeter was working as an arborist and attempting to move a tree that fell. His co-worker was operating a grappling machine but didn't see him and accidentally closed the machine claw on Streeter's right leg. His leg was mangled, kneecap shattered, and femur tore through his skin. Streeter's femoral artery was 1/8 of an inch from being severed, which could have potentially led him to bleeding to death. After 4 operations, Streeter miraculously recovered and returned to the ring in 2019. Incredible. Incredible. So we look forward to seeing how he fares in the ring, upcoming, as I said, on the 16th of July. Other fighters that night are going to be Cristiano Pedro, Jimmy Lewis, Justin Morales, and Thomas Kenny, to name a few. There's also going to be a 9-bout card that features Jason Quirk, Anthony Big Daddy Hines, and Robert Saban. Now, prior to this pro card, Reyes Boxing, as I said, in association with Kings of Combat, will host a special card featuring some exhibition bouts. And this exhibition starts at 1 p.m. That's Eastern Time, and the doors open at noon. Now, all these exhibition bouts are scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and each participant must pass the same pre-fight medicals as the pro fighters. Good news indeed. The exhibitions will have a referee, judges, and medical personnel on site throughout the event. Headlining the exhibition card is undefeated heavyweight Bobby Lights Out Lang against former pro wrestler and bodybuilder Dylan Bostic. Lang, who hails from Braintree, Massachusetts, is a well-known public figure, and he defeated former NFL star Adam Pac-Man Jones back in August 2021. So I guess this is more like a local celebrity boxing event. Brandon Kelly, best known as American Ninja Warrior, faces an opponent to be named in a lightweight contest. Meanwhile, heavyweight Rob One-Eyed Wolf Perez challenges Andrew the Flesh Hammer Felt, and female welterweight Casey Hot Wheels Wheeler will face an opponent to be announced. This is going to be a really fun event, said Michael Reyes, CEO of Reyes Boxing. Full day of entertainment. I'd like to thank the Kings of Combat for the role in making this happen. I look forward to seeing everybody on July 16th. So good for them, putting a bit of entertainment into sports and entertainment. So pro card headlining, but a bit of local celebrities going toe-to-toe before that all takes place. Finally, let's mention a big card coming up in Brooklyn, New York on July 30th. Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. 2-division world champ and Brooklyn fan favorite Danny Swift Garcia will make his super welterweight debut against exciting contender Jose Benavidez Jr. in a 12-round showdown that headlines a stacked triple header Saturday, July 30th, to be shown live on Showtime from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, in an event presented by PBC. This event will also see Polish star in Brooklyn's All Action Adam Kaunaki returning to the ring to take on Turkish Olympian Ali Demizrezin. Sorry about that, fans. In a 10-round heavyweight attraction, while unbeaten rising star Gary Russell faces 2-division champ Rances Barthélemy in a 10-round showdown to kick off the telecast. Said Tom Brown, president of TGB Promotions, this card on July 30th has everything a boxing fan could ask for and is set to deliver compelling action from a start to finish. Philadelphia's Danny Garcia has established a strong fan base in Brooklyn and will look to give them a show in his 154-pound debut against the always tough Jose Benavidez Jr. The heavyweight clash in the co-main event will be full of action as well, as popular heavyweight contender Adam Konaki takes on Ali Demirezen, with both fighters looking to take a big step up to the heavyweight ladder. Plus, Gary Russell has garnered recognition as a future pound-for-pound star and can continue to solidify those credentials, battling the crafty former champ Rancis Barthelemy, opening up the action on Showtime. If you want, you can go to boxing247.com. There's an entire article with quotes from the fighters and promoters, which is quite extensive and probably take me another hour to read. But I welcome you to go to that website, boxing247.com, to check it out. It's packed with information. And that concludes today's episode of Boxing News Today here on Talk and Fight. I want to thank you for joining me. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll see you later on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with Mike Orr and Cedric Ben on Knuckle Up.